that it'd be like, I guess, Striker's rules, where he said that there'd be no gouging of the eyes, no hair pulling, no moves off the top rope, no foul language.
Yeah.
And
So
then Balls would make his entrance, and then they show that he's got trunks. It's got his face on the back of him.
yeah, don't even get me started with that.
Yeah, then of course they'd poke jokes throughout the whole entire match about that.
Yeah, the face sitting jokes, man.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know whose idea that was. I don't know why anybody would ever put their face in their own trunks.
Me neither. Me neither. But again, nothing really exciting.
Yeah, there's a little psychology in it, but it was just, once again, it's like it's balls of honey, Matt Striker.
Yeah.
I went ahead and gave this one a star and 3/4.
I think I gave it a star and a half.
Yeah,
Right?
I gave it a star and a half, so not too far apart. Balls Mahoney would pick up the win, which actually, in some ways, you could argue that with the way this ended up going, that in a way may actually have been a surprise.
Yeah, I mean, it still felt like it still felt like a regular match.
This felt like it was a match you'd see on ECW.
Yeah, but
Nothing else more to it.
freaking oh yeah, another thing I want to mention, like, how does he have the power to make his own rules? Like,
Yeah, like he
like
literally
that.
just, like, before the match, just said he wanted like these set of rules for this match, and the ref just went with it, I guess.
It reminds me of what happened at one Raw with when they're trying to figure out who's AJ Styles facing, and then like Ricochet's like, let's do a fatal 4-way, and next thing you know, commercial. Next thing you know, they're having a fatal 4-way. Like, who the freak? Like,
Yeah, like, who's okaying this?
yeah, like in my opinion, they need to get like GMs back.
Yeah, I think they got to do something about that. I mean, I get that they're trying to do something different, but yeah, now we're just back to like no one's in charge and people are just making matches, and it's just really weird.
Yeah, but like that's what that reminds me of.
Yeah, I could see that a bit. The next after the match well, I believe first there was a CM Punk little interview where he was doing the same kind of thing as Rob Van Dam was doing, and then next thing you know, you'd find Sabu was found unconscious backstage.
Yeah, he was out.
Yeah, and then Paul Heyman would scramble to try to find answers, and he said he's in the main event, whatever. So then next, they cut back to the ring, get ready for the entrances for the next match. You'd hear the crowd chant bullshit.
Yeah, we heard that cool.
Yeah, there's multiple
bullshit
chants throughout the show. Next, we had Elijah Burke and Sylvester Terkay going up against the FBI, Little Guido, and Tony Mamaluke, accompanied by Trinity, in an outfit that definitely would not be allowed today.
Just had to point that out.
Yeah, just a little side note, I guess. Yeah, I don't have much to say about this one either. Very little offense from the FBI in this one, especially like once Terkay got in there. Like,
was that their debut match?
Who's?
Elijah Burke and Sylvester Terkay?
I'm not quite sure.
Because that's my vibe where I got out of it.
I don't think it was Burke's, but it may have been Terkay's.
Yeah, but it was really nothing exciting. It was just bleh.
Yeah, basically. There would well, I guess you could just go right to the end here. So Burke and Terkay would obviously get the win. Both gave it a star and a half. After the match, Terkay would hit a muscle buster, which would draw a little TNA chant from the crowd.
Which I thought was super funny.
Yeah, and obviously at this point, there's really only one guy that I guess had been doing that maneuver, and he made it famous, and he was in TNA at that time. So, which drew the
Attention.
Drew the chant from the crowd. I think there was a couple times I may have heard. I think even in the chamber there may have been a TNA chant. I'm not quite sure.
Maybe. But anyway, what was up next after?
Oh, Daivari and actually no. Well, I think before that there was the part where Heyman had
went to Hardcore Holly.
Yeah, Heyman went to Hardcore Holly, who was just miraculously there, already in his gear, already suited up, ready to go.
Yeah. And Joey Styles said at one point that he wasn't even supposed to wrestle. And
yeah. So, yeah, go figure that one out. So then he's just there. He's just set, all ready to go. So, yeah, then he's in the chamber. The next, we had Davari versus Tommy Dreamer.
Yeah, like,
once again,
what?
This is a match on a pay-per-view.
Yeah, like, what? And, again, nothing too great. And the surprising thing is that to me is that Davari actually won this match. Even with Great Khali was actually at ringside at one point, but he got thrown out.
Well, it does sound weird to think that Davari did beat Dreamer. I don't know why that had to happen.
Yeah, I don't know.
But then in a way, it's like because that happened, it almost makes you surprised at the way that was going. Khali would have him by his neck. He'd do the what was it? I have it as
Punjabi plunge, I believe.
Khali plunge, Punjabi plunge, something like that. He'd do that to Dreamer
He
on
bounced.
the ramp. Yeah, that looked like it hurt.
He bounced.
That was a nasty bump.
But the man's tough. Man, again, wrestled in original ECW for God's sake, so he got back up.
Yeah, so I mean, he's taken a lot of bad ones in his day, but
Yeah.
this is no different. But yeah, this one looked bad. Then of course they tried to give him help. He tried to give up on his own 2 feet. Then he'd go to the back or whatever.
I think he crawled his way out, actually.
Yeah. Then next I have down there is the mixed tag match between Kevin Thorne and Ariel and Mike Knox and Kelly Kelly.
Don't even get me started with this one.
Yeah, this was pretty terrible. By far the worst match of the night.
Probably by far one of the worst matches in WWE history.
Oh, you might be able to go that far.
I don't know. I don't know. At least there wasn't as much botches as there was in that one Raw match.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, it may not have been the worst. I'm not saying it was the worst match ever, but this is a pay-per-view,
and
people are paying to view.
Yeah, and you get this bullshit.
Yeah, so you had that, and then Kelly would get. Well, I guess Kelly would have to get tagged in because Ariel got tagged in, and I guess they're trying to say that it had to be like if the males were in, then they'd have to compete against each other, and if the females came in, then they would compete against each other. So Kelly would have to enter the ring. She really got no offense on Ariel whatsoever. And then right when she was looking to make the tag to Mike Knox, he would leave his corner, and then he'd head to the back. He'd abandon Kelly, and then she'd be stuck on her own against Ariel, and then Ariel would get the pin. And
then after that, post-match attack,
and then the Sandman's music would hit. They would show him up in the crowd. He'd make his way down to the ring,
and he would cane the hell out of
Kevin Thorne. Yeah,
Kevin Thorne.
Yeah, he was caning him pretty bad, actually. I do find it funny how Sandman, who actually wasn't even in the show.
Yeah, but then again, at the same time, though, are you surprised?
Yes and no. Yeah. I mean, I guess you could say in a way he's kind of. Yeah, I guess I could see both sides of that. I mean, he wasn't in the one night stand either that year, but.
I don't think he was in. Wasn't he in? Oh, was he in 05?
Yeah, he was in the main event.
Shit, really?
Yeah.
Crap.
But yeah, he wasn't in this one. But so yeah, then next we'd have an interview backstage with Bobby Lashley about the Chamber.
And his goal was to capture that ECW championship for the first time, because Heyman has been trying to make Lashley's life a living hell since he moved from SmackDown to ECW.
Yeah, pretty generic promo. The next they'd have the video package for the main event, the only video package for any match of this night.
Yeah.
So then for the match, Paul Heyman would come down to the ring with the 2 masked guards or whatever you want to call those people who were with him.
The Bashams. No.
But he cut a little promo, talk about how Hulkamania dies with Hulk Hogan, the Woos would die with Ric Flair, but long after his death, the ECW will live on, and basically that, and then...
Okay, he's trying to imply that really the show has been very lackluster, to say the least. Maybe not even that. He's trying to imply that basically that all the ECW legends now, their days are numbered.
Mm-hmm.
And he's also trying to give you the hint that he's leaving.
Pretty much, that's what I took from it. So then, combatants would make their way in. Big Show would be the first one out. He'd get his pod first. He'd get the pod with the barbed wire baseball bat. The next would be Lashley. He would.
Actually, it was Punk after.
I take that back. Yeah, Punk would come out, then he'd get the chair, and then
it was Test.
He'd come out, and then he'd have a crowbar.
And then Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, then Bobby Lashley, and he'd get a table.
Yeah, like what the hell?
And then Hardcore Holly and Rob Van Dam would be the two to start. Actually, I thought in the beginning it actually wasn't that bad. I thought at one spot where Van Dam would go from he'd leap to the chamber, and then it's almost like he did kind of like a, how do I describe it?
Try to do like a crossbody or something like that.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
I can't even describe it.
I can't remember.
Talk about it.
I can't remember if he hit it or not, but
I know he missed, but I don't know how to describe it. So next thing you know, first to enter would be Punk. He'd enter with the chair. He tried chucking it at Hardcore's head, then he tried chucking it at Van Dam, and he chucked it right back at him.
But at one point, I think Punk is the one that busts open Van Dam though.
Yeah,
he was bleeding pretty good actually. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, because then Test would enter next with the crowbar, and you go right after Van Dam's head with the crowbar.
Yeah, can we not sugarcoat it that since when Test went in, that's when the match went downhill?
Yeah, I thought it actually in the very beginning it didn't seem like it was that bad at all, but then once he entered, it started to go downhill. Not to the fault of his own necessarily, but
just how they went in.
Yeah, but first Punk would be eliminated to the chagrin of probably the people in the crowd who probably were pulling for him. The next Hardcore Holly would go.
Because Test would. We should probably mention on a side note that basically, technically, that Big Show, Heyman, Test, and Holly are just in a small little group. And so everyone thought that the three of those guys were just going to work together. But then Test just turns around and kicks Holly right in the face. And next thing you know, Holly's gone.
Yeah, and it was also a very weird elimination because it's like he got eliminated, but it's like they stopped after the two in that count, which is kind of weird. I don't know what that was all about, but
yeah, me either.
Yeah, but I guess he was out, so. Then it was just Van Dam and Test, and then Rob Van Dam would climb on top of Big Show's pod. And I don't know why he thought this was a good idea.
Yeah. First of all, he flips him off first.
Yeah. Then just to make him even more angry, and then he would grab him by the legs, so then he'd be caught, and then Test would get up to the top, and then he'd pull Van Dam by the hair off the pod. He went back first, and then he'd elbow him off the top of the pod.
With the chair in his face.
Oh, yeah, with the chair in his face. And then he eliminated him, so then it was about a minute or so before Lashley would enter, so Tess was just in there by himself, waiting for Lashley to come out. It's time for Lashley to then enter the match, and then
Heyman security tries screwing him up.
Yeah, so then they basically got him stuck in the pod so he couldn't get out. So then Lashley would take the table that was in his pod, he'd smash it through the chains to escape out of there and be able to enter the match. I don't know if that actually really work, but
totally logic either way.
Whatever. So he finds his way into the match. He gets out there. He gets on the top rope. Then he hits a little. I guess you could say clothesline from the top.
Yeah, that man got hops.
Yeah, so then he'd enter, and then he would fight with Test, and then he'd
eliminate Test.
He'd eliminate him. Then it was down to just him and Big Show, as he'd await Big Show to enter the match. Big Show would enter with the barbed wire bat. Then he'd start swinging at Lashley. He'd block it.
Block it several times.
Several times with the chair, and then he'd go to hit him with it again, and then he'd get stuck in the chamber. Big Show would get busted open here somewhere or another. and then last year we just